Hi, and welcome to the first video of the American prosody section of this course. Today, or in this video, it's going to be all about stress and how we use stress in American English. Now, the way we can identify stress and stress patterns is a little bit different than in Spanish. So I'm going to explain some of those differences for you within this video. And please, the entire time, be thinking about or comparing your native stress patterns based on your native language in Spanish. Hi, and welcome to the first section of the American prosody part of this course. This video will be dedicated to unveiling the stress system in English and how it's different from how we represent the stress patterns in Spanish. This is an important thing to understand. So we're going to fix or change our perceptions of how stress works. And by changing that perception, we will be able to go ahead and fix the different aspects of Hi, and welcome to the first section of American prosody in this course. We're going to dedicate this video to stress and understanding the different stress patterns in English and how they are differently represented versus in Spanish. Okay, so we're going to fix any doubts that you have on understanding stress patterns in English. And most people really don't work on this or consider this when they're working on their non-native language, especially in listening, because they don't understand that there are patterns that they can look for, or that there are certain things that they should be more attentive to in order to enhance or boost their listening skills. So if you're able to master and understand the stress system better in English, you will really be able to boost your listening skills because you will know what to be looking for. All right, so let's get started with explaining a bit about stress. Now, in this lesson, we're going to cover a couple things. I'm going to explain what word stress is, in case you are not sure of that definition, how to stress a word, so in which way do we do that? How do we actually stress something with our voice? Which words to stress, because that's going to be a really important key factor moving forward, and why it's important to know which words to stress. All right. So stress is something that we use constantly for syllables within individual words. So first, we're going to talk about stress within individual words. We're going to see it on a bigger scale as we keep going throughout this video, but we're going to start from the tiny, smallest component, which is a syllable within a word that can be stressed. So a syllable, if you're not sure of what that is a unit of pronunciation that has only one vowel sound. So we break words up into different syllables. For example, the word unit right here, unit, has two syllables, unit. The first syllable has just one vowel sound, u. The second one, nit. And it works the same in Spanish. If we have a word like árbol, árbol, árbol. So the first one has the a sound, and the second syllable has the o. So we're breaking up syllables like that, having units of pronunciation with just one vowel sound. This is something that will feel very natural for you to do without even thinking about it in Spanish. And there's also a lot of aspects in English that you will be doing without realizing it regarding syllable stress. So to explain what the syllable stress looks like, we have a lot of words. Most words are more than one syllable. So in Spanish, when we are writing things and when we're reading, when we are learning language, it's very easy to indicate where stress lies, where it falls, because we have different categories of words in Spanish that break that up for us. So, for example, words agudas, graves, esdrújulas, sobreesdrújulas. So with all of those different categories, it's easier to know, okay, where do I put the accent mark? Where do I put the tilde? And even if you are not aware of that system in Spanish or you were never taught that, it's something that you're using on a daily basis when you're speaking. And we're able to write it physically, which makes it easier in Spanish to know how to read something. Syllable stress in English is a little bit more complex. There are some rules there, there are some tendencies, but it's not physically written with accent marks, which can make it feel a bit more frustrating or harder to find for native Spanish speakers. So we're going to say some of these words together, and afterwards we're going to identify where the syllable stress is in these words. So first, station, station. Just say them with me for now. Sophisticated, sophisticated. Victory, victory. American, American. Campus, campus. Careful, careful. So all of these words have more than one syllable. They're broken up into different units based on where the vowels are in the words. And there is always one part, one syllable that is more important than the other. And this is how we just did that. This is where we put the stress on the syllables. So station, not station, but station. Sophisticated, not sophisticated, sophisticated. Careful, not careful, careful. The same way that with words, we use the same example we used before, the word árbol in Spanish. I know because I see a tilde, I see an accent mark, I say árbol. I don't say árbol, I say árbol. So I can tell that distinction. But we're doing the same thing in English, even though it's not written down. Okay? So syllable stress within a word is showing the most important part of the word. And this is really helping speakers with their clarity of message. If I change the syllable stress, then it will not be as clear, the word, and it may sound confusing. So for people that are speaking, it's very important for them to stress the part that they want you to pay attention to within an individual word and also within a sentence. So we're going to see that later on within sentences, but it starts with syllables within individual words. And that's what we're looking out for. We're looking out for where someone is stressing a word so that we know what's most important to listen for, okay? So to stress a syllable, what are we actually doing? Perhaps you're not aware of what your voice is actually going through, the process to stress a word. So we're doing three things here. We're going louder, longer, and higher in pitch, okay? So louder means going louder in volume. So instead of talking like this, right? That's a volume change, but we do it in just one syllable. We also hold it out longer. So that specific syllable will take more time to say it than another syllable in the word. And we go a little higher in pitch. So the pitch is like the tone. So if you think of musical notes on a scale, da 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 da, da 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 da. I'm not a very good singer, but if you think of musical notes on a scale, it's going up in the note, in the pitch, not the volume. So I can go da 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 da. I can go up in pitch, but not go higher in volume. So we're doing a combination of all of these three things when we stress a syllable. For example, let's take this long word from before. Sophisticated, sophisticated. I don't say sophisticated, right? I don't elongate this vowel or this syllable, I elongate this one. Sophisticated, sophisticated. And this part goes really fast in comparison to how long I'm holding this one out. Sophisticated, sophisticated. American, American. Victory, victory. So we're going a little bit louder, longer, and higher in pitch. All right, now we're going to talk more in the next video about how to know where to stress a certain word, but for now, we're just going to keep explaining how stress works, okay? So just like syllable stress is important within individual words, word stress is equally important within sentences. So just like we will have one syllable in a word that is more important, there are certain words in a sentence that are more important than others. Okay, so that's an important thing to look out for when we're listening, because that will help us know where someone wants to emphasize their message and what the main point is they're trying to get across. And if we can pick up on those specific words that are being stressed, we at least know the main core of the message, even if we miss little other words around it. Okay, so let's take some examples here. Read them off with me. I can help. I can help. You're the best. You're the best. It's all good. It's all good. What do you think is the most important word in these different examples? I can help. I can help. The same way we stress a syllable within a word, going louder, longer, and higher in pitch, we do the same thing for a word within a sentence. So listen for the word that is a little bit longer, louder, and higher in pitch. You're the best. You're the best. It's all good. It's all good. This is where we heard the stress. I can help. You're the best. It's all good. If I say I can help, it's changing the emphasis. If I say it's all good, I'm changing the emphasis, and it doesn't sound as natural. Now, we can do that, but it will also change the meaning of a sentence. There are certain cues or patterns that American speakers are using in their stress systems when speaking, even when we do it unconsciously, that will show you where to look out for those emphasized words or where the meat, the main points of the message will lie. Okay. So the thing is, how do we know what words people are going to stress? We got to know what's important. Okay, so in English, we always want to stress the most important parts of our message. So these are the parts that we're going to look out for. And if you can pick up, like I said, on these specific words that people stress within their message, it will be much easier for you to understand what they're saying, even if you miss other parts of the sentence because they went too quickly or there was new vocabulary, for example. So what we're going to do is every time we have important words, we're going to stress them. They're going to be louder, longer, and higher in pitch. And then when we have unimportant words, they're going to be unstressed. We're actually going to reduce their pronunciation. That's something I'm going to explain to you later. Okay, so don't worry about that part for now. The important words are going to be stressed. And to do this, we categorize words in two different ways. So we have content and function words. So content words are the important ones. These are nouns like house or a name like Kayla, my name, your name, a person, a place, Pennsylvania, Texas, Spain. So those are nouns. Main verbs, so the main action in a sentence, like talk, walk, eat. Adjectives like beautiful, big, or red. Adverbs like quickly, slowly, quietly. Negative elements of a sentence tend to be highlighted and stressed as well because they are important. It's important if we are saying no. So if we say negative things in contraction form, like can't, shouldn't, won't, or negative elements like just saying no or not in general. So those are the things that we can look out for that are going to be the important or stressed words. Then we have another category, function words. So function words are articles. So for example, words like the, a, and. Pronouns like I, she, he. Auxiliary verbs. So that could be modal verbs or things like can, would, should. Prepositions. So those tiny words like for, on, off. And the verb to be. So is, are, am. Those are what we call function words, and they are normally more reduced. They're not as important. They are less important, so they're going to be less stressed. I will show you later how to de-stress pronunciation. But for now, focus on the fact that consonant words, when you are listening to people, they're going to stress the most important words. I just did it right there. They're going to stress the most important words. They're going to stress the most important words. So I put the stress on the word stress because that's what we're talking about, okay? So as long as you can pick out those couple of words that are being most emphasized, then you will be able to pick up on the majority of the message. Now, another way to look at this, if it's hard for you to categorize words into prepositions and nouns and verbs, not everyone's brain works that way. So consonant words are basically any word that gives you a mental image. If you think of the word small, you have a picture of like, okay, something small. If I say mouse, you think of a mouse. If I say run, you can picture someone running. So they give you a mental image or an idea of something. Now with function words, they're less important because by themselves, they do not hold any meaning. If I just say the word of, can, he, but I don't have any context, I don't know what they mean. I don't have a picture in my head. Even if I just say he, well, who is he? I don't know who we're talking about, so function words are less important. So again, if we look at these examples from before, I can help. You're the best. It's all good. It's all good. You're the best. I can help. These are all consonant words. The words that are being stressed are important. Help is a main verb. I know what it means to help someone. Best. If you're the best at something, okay, that gives me a description. It's all good. Good, another adjective. I know what good is, good versus bad. It gives me an image, okay? So what do I do if I have more than one content word? Now, this is the next question. Okay, we have a lot of different content words, right? We use a lot of adjectives and verbs and nouns, especially when we use long sentences. So how do we know which content words people will normally stress and what to listen for? Now, there is a lot of variation here, and people can choose to stress different words based on what they want their meaning to be. Okay, so you'll have to gauge for yourself which words people are stressing to know what the point of their message is. But in general, we do have a rule for this. In general, when we have more than one content word, they're all going to be important. So content words are always important. They're always stressed. But we normally have one word that is more important. Or maybe it'll be even two or three, depending on how long the sentence is. But we'll call this word the focus word because it is the focus of our meaning, of our message. So all of our content words are going to be stressed, but the focused word will be the most stressed. We can see it in even this sentence, this last sentence on this slide. All of the content words will be stressed, but the focus word will be the most stressed. So out of all these words, we have different words that are important. Content, words, stressed, focus, word. These are all content words. But most is given the majority of the meaning because I want to describe that there are things that will be most stressed compared to others. So this is the main message of my sentence, of what I'm saying. That's my focus word, okay? There is a pattern for most of the time how we're going to find focus words or where people put focus words when they speak. So we're going to see some examples. Read these off with me. The girls have been playing basketball. The girls have been playing basketball. He had 5 sales calls today. He had 5 sales calls today. Why don't we go to my house? Why don't we go to my house? So here I have in bold all of the words that are content words, the most important ones. Noun, verb, noun, adjective, adjective here as well, noun, noun. So out of all of them, they're all important. The girls have been playing basketball. He had 5 sales calls today. Why don't we go to my house? So I'm exaggerating it so you can feel the up and down of my voice when I stress content words. But there's going to be one word here that is more important than the others. Let's see if you can hear it. The girls have been playing basketball. The girls have been playing basketball. So which word sounds most normal to stress? The girls have been playing basketball, the girls have been playing basketball, or the girls have been playing basketball. The girls have been playing basketball. The same thing with, he had 5 sales calls today. Is it he had 5 sales calls today? He had 5 sales calls today. He had 5 sales calls today. Or he had 5 sales calls today. Today. So today is getting stressed there. Do you see a pattern happening? Basketball, today. Why don't we go to my house? Why don't we go to my house? Am I saying, why don't we go to my house? Why don't we go to my house? Or why don't we go to my house? House. I'm emphasizing house. So we're seeing here this pattern. Basketball, today, and house were the focus words in these examples. Okay? And there's a reason for that. Most of the time, as a general rule, the last content word of a sentence will normally be the most stressed word of the sentence. In other words, the focus word will be the last content word in a sentence. And the focus word is the one that is the loudest, longest, and highest in pitch. Okay? So this is a normal rule of thumb. This is general. If I change it, then I change the meaning. So here, if I say, instead of he had 5 sales calls today, I say, no, he had 5 sales calls today. Maybe that means I'm correcting someone. Maybe you said to me, oh, he had 3 sales calls today. And I said, no, he had 5 sales calls today. So I want to stress 5 over today to correct you, perhaps. So it'll change the meaning. So when you are listening to other people speak, maybe you're doing a listening exercise, you are listening to a movie, to a speech, and you want to identify what the most important part of the message is, you can listen for content words, okay? So these are some steps to identify stress patterns and where you are hearing people emphasize things or not. So we want to listen for content words, so the most important words. Then we want to identify the focus word. So what is the most important word of the sentence that they are stressing, and how does that change the meaning? And then we're going to listen for function words, okay? So function words, remember, are the tiny little words that are not as important, that are not stressed in a sentence. And we're going to learn why their pronunciation is often hard to hear for non-native speakers. There's a specific reason for it, and you're going to see that in the following video. So we're going to listen for function words as well and understand why their pronunciation changes. But for now, you understand the first 2 steps of listening for the content words and identifying the focus word. All right, now it is time to practice. Start listening the next time you are listening to a song, to a movie, to a talk, television. Listen for what are the most important words that people are stressing, and how is that impacting their message. This is going to be really, really useful for your listening skills, especially when it's time to do a listening practice, or if you have to take a test and you're doing listening exercises to find the main message or the main meaning in a passage in an audio. This will really help you being able to focus on the content words and the focus words. All right, great job. I will see you in the next video.